York. New York, what's up, New York? Listen, we in New York, right? This is hip hop. This is hip hop.
Welcome back to a new episode of Crash the Industry. I'm your host, Mr. CEO. In a world where words can change lives, Rob De La Rosa is the voice that ignites transformation. Known as the master communicator, Rob's ability to connect, inspire, and spark action has made one of the most sought-after speakers in the world. From sharing stages with industry legends like John Wembley to hosting one of the Bronx's most influential podcasts, Rob has influenced thousands globally with his powerful storytelling and action-driven messages. His focus on authenticity, real relationships, and a deep understanding of human potential has positioned him as a true leader in his field. But it doesn't stop there. As an educator, mentor, and creator, Rob is paving the way for the next generation of voices, empowering students and the future creators to find their own power through podcasting, media, and entrepreneurship. With a track record of building high-performance sales teams, mentoring over 20,000 individuals, and leading dynamic collaborations, Rob's influence extends across industries, cultures, and borders. He's not just about talking, he's about making an impact that lasts. This is Rob De La Rosa, and this is Crash the Industry.
Wow.
What's going on, my brother?
That was an introduction, bro. Appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Nah, I did a little bit of research. So how's everything going?
Everything's beautiful. Everything is a blessing. Honestly, bro, I can't stop looking around. I'm like, this is goals right here, bro. What you got going on over here is amazing, and it's very, 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 very incredible, and I'm honored to be here.
I appreciate it, and I would be honored to be on your podcast.
No, we're gonna make that happen. It's
And
down the block.
we gonna get to that conversation about what's his name, Chris Humphreys?
Johnny Wimbrey?
Johnny? No, the other one, who told you how to get in schools.
Oh, that was Ian Dunlap.
Ian Dunlap.
Ian Dunlap. There's a couple of people I had the conversation with, but yeah, definitely we're gonna talk about that.
All right. So what do you believe is the most important skill when it comes to connecting with people on a deep and emotional level?
Well, that's a good question. Being present. So sometimes we ask questions or we talk and we're not listening, right? Like we're waiting for you to finish so I can get my words across. And that's never gonna get the ultimate goal to connect with somebody. Like communication, some people have it messed up. They think if I just say what I feel, then I communicated. I have to be able to say the words in ways that you can understand what I'm feeling. And that's the goal there. So you have to be present to understand that you got barriers, that you're scared to show, I got wounds that might be open. If I know you're present and it's not your mind, it's at work or it's at the job or the kids, if you're here with me, I feel free and I feel safe. From there, everything goes. Because then I know the intention is to really understand me. If we do that, we go far.
See, a lot of people don't really pay attention to what it means to have a real conversation or conversate. Being a listener is part of the whole conversation. And I think what you said right there is most people are waiting to respond. And they stop at one point that they're holding on to, and instead they might get to a whole nother point, but they miss it because they still focused on what you said 30 seconds ago.
That's a fact. And in podcasting, we know, I'll tell you, my first season of podcasting, my challenge was I got a great question, right? And I want to cut you off because I feel like if I ask this question, it'll lead to a better conversation. And I had to learn quickly, like, nah, just be present. And whatever you had that you thought was a good question, there's a better one at the end of what he's saying. So it also had to learn that in this art. This is art right here.
Absolutely.
But when it comes to really like connecting with somebody, I learned it there. Like I stopped thinking about what the listener want to see. It's like, the show's for me, first and foremost. And if you happen to enjoy it, then thank you. So I'm here to have a conversation with my man. Thank you for having me. But if I'm thinking about, yo, what would this person say? Or how would they like it? Then I'm not here.
Absolutely. So like, I had to learn that fast. And I think I was like on my second episode. My wife is like my director, like executive producer. So in my ear, I would hear, shut up and let them finish the conversation. So I had to learn from a reporter's point of view is that you got to get the sound bite out.
For sure.
So you got to let them finish their sound bite. So now I've had guests talk for 5 minutes
Let
straight.
them go.
And then when I say, all right, it's time for me to interject, that's when I'll do that.
For sure.
And then I get the facts 100 in my ear right now.
Fire. I love the fact, by the way, that it's a husband-wife dynamic. Let's just talk about that real quick. Let me just highlight that. That within itself, it's amazing. One, to work with somebody is hard, but to work with somebody you love, bro, is incredible. You know what I mean?
And the thing is, this is her field. She was a reporter. You know what I'm saying? So I come from a generation and era where we don't talk on camera.
Word.
So this is all being fast-tracked to me. So anytime I make a mistake, it's a long drive home, you know what I mean? Like,
I bet. Do you remember when I told you not to? Yeah,
exactly.
Word.
So you've shared stages with some of the biggest names in the industry. What was one of the most memorable moments from those events that truly shaped your perspective on speaking and leadership?
There was a time, shout out to Johnny Wimbrey. So some people may not know who he is, but he's stages with like the big names of personal development, right? So Johnny Worry. Tom Worry, I don't even remember these guys' names anymore, but this is the name we both know, Les Brown, right? Les Brown is the #1 paid out motivational speaker. So Johnny was a guy that I saw like, hold on, that's among the elites. And we were in the same company, so I was somebody on his sales team, but he seen my work because of the results. I brought in a big team, but he never seen me do my work, right? So we've had conversations and we could tell he got to know me as a person, but he never seen me do what I do. And then one time I was given the opportunity by my boy Gary, shout out to Gary, and he said, I want you to come to Jamaica. He had an international team. I want you to come to Jamaica, fly out to Jamaica so you can speak to my team in Jamaica. That alone is a dream, but then it was on stage with the legend Johnny Wimbrey and my boy Gary, who were killing. They were making what people were making a year, they were making in a month. And I wasn't at that level. So I felt like I didn't earn the spot to be there. So my boy had to check me and said, if I didn't think you deserved to be here, I wouldn't have invited you.
Okay.
A lot of us do that. We get given an opportunity, we want an opportunity, and when it comes, we shy away from it. All that to say, when I started speaking and giving my piece on stage, Johnny first started when I started talking, he was on his phone. All right? And that kind of turned me up. And I said, oh, you don't know who I am. It took about 30 seconds, and he went from being on his phone to like locking in. And the whole room, I had him. I can tell by the silence. As a speaker, you know you're doing something when you pause and you hear nothing in that room. By the time I finished, he pulled me to the side and said, we need you to hurry up and get to the next level so we could take you around the world. But those moments, it's things that you think about when you first meet somebody, like, I'm going to collab with this person one day, but I'm going to wait till it's right. It was a moment that I will never forget.
And for my people who don't know what you do, could you explain quickly or briefly what it is that you do?
So today I'm a podcaster and I'm an educator in the school system, so I'm a vendor for the DOE. Look how life works. Then I was a speaker and trainer for a sales company in travel. That was amazing. But I learned a lot of leadership qualities in sales and building relationships with people. So when I say 20,000 people, I personally put in about 100 people into that company to grow over 20,000 around the world. And I started that in my living room in the Bronx, New York. # in the living room podcast. So I saw how you can start something locally and it'll go global. But the power behind my voice, I did a sales training because I was a store manager for AT&T. I had a lot of experience in sales. But I noticed that a lot of my teammates, when they were getting started, they were scared to ask for their friends to give them their credit card or ask for the sale. Got pissed off one day and someone recorded me doing a training for someone else. My boy JD Consoflo, another guy who's incredible. I did that for free. It was love. I didn't get paid for it, but someone recorded it. This was 2013. It did 30,000 hits on SoundCloud in 2013.
Okay.
So that's like 1 million+ views today. And from there, I just knew the talent of being able to transfer belief and how to make sure you get the point and get to it. Less is more. From there, when that stopped, I sat back and said, I got my heart broken, bro. The company stopped paying us that we were working in. And I had the option to either get bitter, get mad, and shelf all this experience. And I just sat down one day and said, you know what? I'm ready to come back outside. And started a podcast. And from there, it got me into the school system now where I teach kids how to podcast.
That's dope. That's dope. So you talk about action-orientated storytelling. How do you ensure your messages don't just inspire, but drive tangible action in your audience?
You gotta have a gift for that, I would say, all right? Because for me, I grew up playing sports, and my parents never came to my games. I got the greatest parents in the world, by the way. So let's not, oh my God, now listen. Pops worked overnight, night and day. And then my mom, she worked in the school, so I didn't have my parents to come to my games. So in order for me to translate what I did, by the way, I was talking about this the other day. I played baseball from 10 to 13, and by the time I was 13, we won the Babe Ruth Championship, the first Bronx team to do that in 27 years. My baseball career was short, but it was legendary where I had to come home. And how do I transfer what I did so you can feel what I did when she wasn't there? So
Speak it with power.
I got good at storytelling so my parents could live the moment even though they weren't there. And then I learned that facts tell, but stories sell. Nobody cares about the data. If you want to turn me off, give me a sheet this long of what I got to do. But if you give me a story about a person who started a pilot in their living room and now they got their studio, you got my attention.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
That's dope. So let's get to this. This is where I felt like you robbed me. But as a podcast host, you interview global leaders like New York City Mayor Eric Adams. What insights did you gain from that conversation, and how did his approach to leadership influence your own views?
All right, so one, shout out to Eric Adams because he came in to deliver. So my podcast is called In the Living Room Podcast, where you literally have to come to my crib. And then when they offered me the opportunity at first, I was hesitant because, let's just call it what it is. He's not the most liked man in the world.
Yeah.
Right? It's not about, you say Eric Adams and somebody in here wants to throw something at me, somebody else wants to have a conversation with me. All right?
Absolutely.
I don't have a political background. My platform is not about politics, but I understood this is a man in office at this time, and I don't even know what he goes through. Like, people want to judge the man, and I don't even know him. I want to get him in front of me so I could see a vibe myself. And the experience was amazing. Let me just say, they came an hour before he pulled up, checked out the crib and all that first. Then he pulled up in two black, tinted cars. It was incredible. Nonetheless, as always, people who have the hardest positions, very few understand what they got to go through. All right, that's what I got. Like, the more you do, the more you go up the ladder, the less you're going to be understood from those who don't do what you do. But you still got to do your job effectively. Now, it's up to us to say if he's doing it right or wrong, but even in that time when I was interviewing him, his team was giving me the time behind him of how fast he had to get up out of there. All right, so I had to move in time. And then the response time is not getting to Eric, it's getting to 3 other people. So it goes to show that once you get to a level that not everybody will comprehend, you need a team around you to support you even through the ups and the downs.
Absolutely. So when you was having that conversation with him, did you feel like there was a connection and he was probably misunderstood?
So one, it was a great conversation. So for me, it was like I got the man in front of me and off his aura, how he came to the crib. We had the same situation when we were talking off camera. He said, listen, I want to keep this on camera so we could get the camera rolling because the conversation is good. Good dude. Said hi to everybody in the crib, did a pull-up. So in my show, after you're done, you got to do a pull-up. He started that trend. Like, he came and said, yo, Eric, you could. There was a part of the interview, let me just say this. There was a part of the interview, because I'm a clown to some degree, right? When Eric says, I be telling my team, don't worry about me, I can fight. Yeah, I swear to God, I almost said, let me see something, bro.
That was the Bronx thing you almost kicked in?
I swear to God. All right, get up. I wanted
You was
to
gonna
so
slap
bad,
box.
but
You was
I
gonna slap box
like,
Eric Adams the next.
God, bro. I was like, right, Chip,
Yo,
you don't know.
you only get that from a Bronx person.
You don't, and you got I had the opportunity. If you look at the interview, I go like this, bro. I smile so hard because I was gonna do it. I'm like, yo, bro, his team is here. They might think I'm wilding. But he was being himself. I saw how comfortable he was to do all that. Like, I've watched enough interviews. I'm a person who studies. I watched enough interviews of Eric, and he was himself. I had him there. He wasn't looking at the time. He was looking at me. That's how I knew. He was present. He stopped whatever he was doing to be there for that. That was 45 minutes for sure.
That's dope. I'm gonna watch that in its entirety. I started watching like a couple minutes. I was like, man, I'll talk to him first, and then I'll watch the episode.
Took your interview, my fault, bro.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
You know what's funny? I'll say this. You start something and not knowing where it's gonna land. Because my first thought was I want to interview my friends. I have a lot of great friends with great stories. I just interviewed Jenya when that drops. Incredible. She's a therapist, entrepreneur that I know her life. And some of my friends forget about what I know about them. So when I start a pod, the first thing I say is there anything you don't want to talk about? Just let me know.
What's off the table?
And they go, because you don't know what I got here. But I'm never going to do something to embarrass you, but I'm going to bring you back to the time your car got repoed, you don't remember that I let you. All that, I remember it. You don't know, I remember it. What do you want me to talk about? And we go from there. It's the same thing with Eric. It's like, what don't you want to talk about?
He was like, he didn't care.
Shoot.
So you've mentored thousands of people across various industries. What is the most common obstacle you see people facing when trying to unlock their true potential, and how do you help them overcome it?
Belief is a funny thing, bro. I used to say stuff like, shout out to the audience here. Have rapper like belief. You gotta just believe you could do it, right? Like, and you can't teach that until you gotta break someone's paradigm. Sometimes anger and frustration will do things that love doesn't. Meaning, if I tell you all the time, you're special, I can see it in you, etc., and that's not working, you're gonna get I could curse on the show? I could curse on
I'll
the show?
delete it.
You gotta shut the fuck up and do it, bro. Stop talking to me. That sometimes gets the response that you're supposed to get. But if you care, that's the only thing that matters. As long as you know that I care, it moves the person. Because if I'm human, and there's times that I'm overthinking something, and sometimes I need that myself, come to me when you want the transparency so I can move your belief, because you gotta work on that more than anybody else. But it does help when someone sees it for you before you do. Big example. Radel Ortiz was my first interview. So Radel Ortiz, if y'all don't know who he is, he just sold out the United Palace right here on 174. First interview, and in that interview, we talk about stand-up comedy. Yo, Andy, when you're gonna start doing stand-up comedy? Says it on there, I'm scared as shit. I'm scared, bro. I don't know what it is. I'm being weird, etc. And I'm like, yo, you bugging out. I've seen him speak in front of rooms, has everyone laughing. If he's in here, everyone's laughing. And had the doubt. I end up doing stand-up comedy, bro. Me. I interviewed Kev Herrera. He says, another dude who's killing Instagram and selling all his shows. His first show ever, he asked me, would I open up to do a show? And I said, what? So I'm not even a comedian. But that's the year I vowed to say yes to opportunities.
Take it.
I said, I'm doing it. I mean, I have stage presence, I know how to do that, so I'm just gonna open up for you, that's fine. One day, we went to a show, and there was an opener that wanted to be on there. And he said, yo, bro, I don't want this person to open, so you gotta go up there and do 13 minutes. Who gotta do 13 minutes? Me?
That's a long time.
That's a long time. On comedy? Me? You know what I said? Let's do it. Winged it, gotta document it. And then people started laughing, I'm like, this is working. I promise you. Every time I got off stage, I got on my phone and sent Andy a voice note. I'm gonna tell you something right now, bro. I'm fucking doing it right now. It's you. You could do it. I'm telling you you're gonna do it. And I wouldn't stop. Fast forward a year later, he sells out 3,000 seats. But it was in me to keep being like, I don't give a fuck what's going on. I don't care who's telling you can't do it. Every day, 1 in the morning, yo, listen to this book, bro. Because you're too good to not see it. Today he's wilding.
So I got a question for you, since you motivated him to that. I have a goal, and I say my goal over the next 5 years is to land a spot on TED Talk. I want to do that. So what advice would you give someone who wants to get into the motivational speaking part?
It's closer than what you think. This is why I smile that way. I was just offered to have a TED Talk a couple months ago and didn't see that coming, so that's why I smiled that way. So it's closer than what you think. It's not necessarily, so when we see TED, it's TEDx Talks and TED Talks, right?
Yes.
So someone has to host it, and then you just get picked, and then I'm gonna give you, this is why connections happen like they're supposed to. I'm gonna give you the guidelines you need to know, because they're very strict on how they want you to go about the talk, and just be ready, bro.
Okay.
That's it, just be ready. Put the reps in, like, I would say, for me, I'm not a person who's structured that way. I'll get on stage and I need 3 bullet points, and then seeing what I needed to do to follow their guidelines made me be like, all right, maybe I'm not ready at this time, but we'll have a conversation about that offline.
Definitely,
for sure.
definitely. So what's one piece of advice you would give somebody trying to come up and get into the school system, which is something you're doing now, because it is called crash industry. So how would somebody crash and break into that part of the industry of getting into the school systems?
So one, have something that's tangible, have something that's valuable, have something that people really want. That's for sure. Like, it took me a year to get my vendor's license. So I interviewed shout out to my brother Milk. I interviewed Milk, who was a vendor for the DOE. What happened was, street brand, and his daughter one day said, Dad, can you fix my uniform and make it more like the stuff that you make? Goes in there, and the principal calls him 5 times and says, how quick can you come and have a meeting? I need you to do 3,000 of these uniforms. He's like, what do you mean? Made him a vendor, so 2 ways to do it. If you got relationships with principals, they can sponsor you to be a vendor, all right? So use your relationships, but most importantly, put in an application. There's an application online, you can find that if you Google it, but you gotta have something that's valuable. You got to. And then it's not as hard as you think. Me, I did something for free, all right? Because this is what, all right, let me talk to my camera. Free gets you paid. Some of you think you're worth $1 and you haven't done anything yet. I did things for free first. Go in this room. All right, let me give you a vulnerable moment as a fact. Before I started my podcast, I was dead broke. In fact, I was broke when I started my podcast. I was behind on rent when I started my podcast. I was scared that they were going to change the lock one month while I had a guest in the room on my pod. You hear me? Bad. But I was so happy when I was interviewing my friends. I knew I was going to be okay. Money was coming, but it was delayed. And someone tells me, yo, you should go speak to these kids in school. I said, who? Because the identity I had is if I don't have money in my pocket, my words aren't valuable. So what I'm going to go over there and talk to these kids about? To be like me, they don't know I could barely eat. But that's not true. I don't know what they're going through.
Yeah.
I don't know if what I'm saying can help one of those kids. You know, let me go over there, and I don't want to, but this is the year I said yes
To everything.
To everything. Here we go. I go. My boy says, yo, Rob, you know what you're going to talk about? Absolutely not. So what you going to talk about? I'm going to figure it out when I get up there.
And you made it work.
First time it was the older kids, seniors and juniors. It made the impact. They were older. They were going to high school, right? They was going to college. I mean, I saw it happen. But then it was the younger kids. And that's the clip that I have on my Instagram. It's the first clip where I got pissed because the kids sitting all the way in the back and they thought they were cool. So the professional, I asked a hook question. Let me ask you a question. If you had an opportunity to experience something that you've never seen before, would you want to sit in the front of the class or in the back of the class? The kids all said, oh, came to the front. By the time I was done, as a kid with glasses, bro, little Asian kid with glasses the entire time, he looked super shy. And he couldn't wait. I felt like he was antsy. I don't know if he was uncomfortable. He raises his hand. I go, yes, young man, how can I help you? He goes, can I have your autograph? I said, what? Me? 8 kids asked me for an autograph that day. Left in the Uber crying, bro. Like, whoa, I almost didn't want to do this. And then I went to an event, met a guy on stage. Go out, get out your comfort zone. InvestFest has been the best place for me. So I go to InvestFest and see a man get on stage and said, I just got paid $45,000 for 45 minutes to speak at a high school.
Yeah, definitely need to time out on that.
Time out. I just went for free. I could do that for free all day. You did what? Explain that to me. Where's your booth? Ran to the booth. This is what you got to do, and you got to get your hand in the mud, right? Like I went to places where I didn't have the cash.
And you got to shake those hands, like you
and
said.
You got to shake those hands.
So with that being said, tell everybody where they can reach you, where they can find you, what you got coming out, and let's get up out of here.
It's Rob De La Rosa, In the Living Room Podcast. It's my Instagram page for my pod, Rob_De La Prophet. It's my personal page. And you can find me on YouTube, In Your Living Room. Play the episode. Start where you want. Season 1. I just dropped my boy Kimo and Martin's episode. Jen just dropping next. Most importantly, I'm in the Bronx. I'm in Dykeman shaking somebody's hand, and if you make good food, let me know, because I'm hungry.
Welcome back to the second segment of Crash the Industry. In this industry, where only the strongest survive, we have the vision, the resilience, and the impact to leave a lasting mark. Sho-Time is one of those few. As the founder of Sho-Time TV, he has built a media empire that connects artists to the world, working alongside industry giants like Nicki Minaj, French Montana, and Slaughterhouse. But his impact doesn't stop there. Through the Sho-Time Battle Rap League, he has created a platform where raw talent is tested, legends are made, and the culture continues to evolve. And beyond that stage, beyond the screen, his voice carries as a respected radio show host and a media personality. Sho-Time brings unfiltered conversations to the forefront, breaks new talent, and reshapes the narrative of hip-hop in real time. More than an artist, more than an executive, Sho-Time is a force in music, film, and entertainment. His influence is undeniable, his work speaks for itself, and his legacy is still being written. This is not just a career, it's a mission. This is Sho-Time, and this is Crash the Industry. What's going on, my brother? How you feeling today?
Can we do that again? I want to hear all that again. All of it. And I can just walk away happy.
How you doing?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
You know what's funny is I was just talking to Rob, and we was talking about doing things. I had told you I was going to do this TV show like a year before I even got started with it. I just kept procrastinating.
Yeah, you be playing. You play, but you don't be playing. But you be working.
You gotta push yourself. So Sho-Time, you've built an empire with Sho-Time TV and your Battle Rap League. What inspired you to take that leap into the media and create the platform for artists?
Yo, I was an artist. I was I started off trying to be an artist only because I have friends that really love music. Like, I started listening to music really late. Like, I think I started listening to music 97. Like, I started listening to Biggie, Jay-Z, and then I went back to learn everything that I missed. I was hearing music, but I wasn't really hearing it. And a lot of my friends, they were into, recording. I was garbage. When I tell you it took me 2 weeks to record one verse, they used to hide from me, right? So then I started actually, catching on. And then I had a friend named Tron. I had met him when I went to the high school art and design. So I went to the high school art and design.
Okay.
And I met Tron, and he would play these beats, and I'd be like, "You didn't make that." He's like, "Yes, I did." I'm like, "No, you didn't." So Tron got me into like listening to music. And one time, me and Tron had this argument. I love him for this argument we had. So since we had this argument, I had to find something to do. So I started doing these video clips. I started going in the hood, talking to artists, going places where nobody want to go. You had Hell Rail outside. You had all these people outside. I was outside, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And the people from the blocks was actually loving the content of watching themselves and listening to their friends go through things that they was going through. And I was heavy into like battle rap. Like, so when I was in high school, I would see Jay Mills literally in the hallways battling. You know what I'm saying? Todd Stick was there. He was even, what's his name? A.R. Rasby. How you say his name? Forgot his name. But it's a bunch of legends now that's out here moving. They was in art design. A lot of us went to art, but Jay Mills was one of my A1 day ones.
Okay.
He was spitting. I'm like, damn. And he was like, I remember him telling me everything he's going to do. I'm like, word? So a few years later, I'm watching a Smack DVD, and I see Jay Mills battling Murder Mook, and I'm like, yo, this is crazy. So I'm buying all the Smacks. I woke up in the middle of the night, I said, yo, I'm gonna create this joint called Sho-Time TV. I'm gonna be everywhere. Everything I said I was gonna do, I did it in a month. That's how hungry I was. I was married at the time. My wife left me, tears in my eyes, all that. I felt like I got broken apart to be built up. And all I cared about was, I said, yo, I got so much going on that I don't got time to even feel like, that's why even now in my life, when I go through stuff, it's not that it's nothing to me, it's that, yo, I don't have time for this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta go through what I gotta go through, but I can't stop being who I'm supposed to be, So I remember it started clicking, and I meet this person and that person, and I started connecting the dots. That's why I got so connected with battle rap. Like I hit Ice up, then had Ice call me in the middle of the night, you know what I'm saying? He responded to me. Then like, if I didn't get a chance to meet somebody else would lock me in with them. That's when I met Goods. So many dots got crossed. I hit Sway 7 hit me up because Cortez wasn't picking the phone up. I'm like, yo, what's up with him? So now Cortez get on the phone, we link up at a club that's like across the street from my crib. So now I got Math Hoffa there, I got Cortez, I got D Chambers there, I got Rex, I got Cortez calling out Rex. I got Mav talking about he want to battle Dose again on my platform. There was times I was in front of Smack and I didn't even know that was Smack because I didn't know what he physically looked like. You know what I'm saying? So like, I was working.
So you was just putting in that legwork.
Just putting in that work, man. Like people thought I just started doing this. Like, no, man, I was outside.
I gotta stop you for a second because I was gonna tell you something before we started filming, and they said you got to get ready to film. Mm-hmm. We were going through something online, and I forgot what it was, but it was like 10, 13 years ago. Mm-hmm. You was on BronxNet doing a commercial, and I think you was like getting drunk in the commercial, and you was arguing with a female.
Oh, shout out to Vera Edwards. That was for domestic violence.
Yes, the domestic violence. It was a domestic violence PSA.
Yeah, Vera Edwards was one of the people who put me in my first movie. I remember I was working at JCPenney because I was trying to get this budget. See, people think because you get distribution, that's where it stops. Nah.
You still gotta work.
You got distribution, you need to pay for promotion, you gotta figure out, you gotta cross your T's, dot your I's, you gotta get these press releases out, all of that. So I took a job at JCPenney. I told them like, look, man, don't get used to me. I'll be here 2 months. They was making fun of me because at the time I was working with like Ty City. I was working with like some of the Coke boys. I remember putting in heavy work with them, running around. It was they was doing a lot of filming. It was a lot of interviews we were doing, and I learned a lot. And around that time, you know, they thought I was playing when I was in JCPenney. I was in there just moving. I'm like, the manager talking to me. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, but yeah, all right. So I get called in the office. One of the managers was like, yo, what you doing here? I'm like, what you mean? He's like, yo, Sho-Time, I got some artists. I'm like, what? I thought I was getting in trouble that he talking about, yo, he got some artists he need help with. I'm like, this is crazy. Then I got a call from Vera. She was like, yo, look it, I'm about to put you in this movie. Could you come right now? I'm like, I'm at work. She's like, nah, but I need you right now. I was like, okay, I'm out. I left the job, did the movie, never came back. It was a wrap. Then she made a movie called Pressed, put me in it. I was the main character. It was loosely based on my life, loosely, because a lot of that gangster stuff that happened in my real life.
I hear you.
You know, but that's when I had my first, you know, leading role, and I got my first really major little IMDb credit that I felt like I kind of worked hard for.
Every credit is a big credit, especially if it's your first one.
Yeah, but to me, like around that time, I ain't really know what I was doing. It was like, but they coached me well.
You ain't got to know what you're doing as long as you're doing it. The worst thing I forgot. I think it was the movie Hostel. Dude walked in and shot his man because he said he didn't do nothing. He said the worst thing you could do is nothing. Go do something. Everybody else went running off to do something. You gotta at least be doing something.
Yeah, you know, it was just my first time getting into acting. So like, you know, I had fun doing this. So we did the movie Pressed. It was because it inspired her because I had a battle rap event and I had Fred the Godson hosted. God bless his soul.
Yes.
Fred hosted it. I had people from Philly pull up. I had Half the Hustler from Philly. I had Pop from the barbershop, the real Pop from the barbershop, pulled up. And it was packed, you know what I'm saying? That was like my second event, because my first battle rap event I had Goods hosted. I remember Goods was like, I thought it was gonna be trash, but he had a good time. And that's when I first started that battle rap
So how did
situation.
you go from working with the battle rappers to working with huge names like Nicki Minaj and French Montana and Slaughterhouse?
So with the Nicki Minaj thing, I covered a few events where she was at. So like I got all this footage of her, when she dropped albums and stuff like that. So I was getting footage of everybody. You know what I'm saying? So with French, there was an event he had for his first album. I was out there, it was DJ SNS. And he was like, Sho-Time TV. I was like, yeah, say that again. That's when I first met SNS, little SNS. At the time he was little, now he's grown.
Yeah.
You know, all the DJs was out there. It's all on YouTube. All this stuff is just literally there. French played the whole album like twice. You know what I'm saying? He walked through the whole thing. I had Mad Coke Boys on it, shouting them out, doing their thing. You know what I'm saying? I had Boo City, Ty City. Man, there was so many people. Fred came out. Fred the Godson, Smack came out, shouted me out like 1,000 times. You know, it was, man. When I tell you, I got everybody on that. Everybody was outside. Was on my second DVD. I had Gilly on the cover. And the back is just loaded with so many different celebrities. Like I had Paul Johnson on it. When I tell you I was getting clips and stuff from people, I was outside. I was everywhere. I was at a Source magazine party.
So all of that transpired. We got a bit. That's not even a lot of Showtime's history. I heard you say on the live you got some things coming up. What's one of the things you can share with us that you do have coming up?
Man, I got too many things coming up. So I got a reality show I'm working on, right?
That's what I wanted you to tell me
That's
about.
gonna be crazy, because I got, you know, I'm looking for some, you know, everybody wanna get eye candy. That's cool, but like I'm looking for a certain type of person. So I'm looking for a few good women that could that could articulate their words, like you and your last guest was talking about, actually have a conversation. And be okay with people disagreeing with you, and being able to own your niche and be comfortable expressing themselves to ultimately have this talk show.
Without it leading to drinks being thrown.
Yeah, basically. Of course, it's gonna be trials, tribulations, it's gonna be tests, it's gonna be other public figures that's gonna actually come out and support and actually give their opinion and things of that nature. You know, my manager, she has her own platforms. So she's somebody that I respect. You know, Sonny Do, I respect her. So like, she's somebody that could understand the things that I go through when I manage people. You know, and when I look for artists and I'm like saying, okay, you rap, you do this, okay, well, you know, what's the plan? Because now I gotta find a way to make this realistic now.
You gotta have a
and
game plan.
once my mind start working, now I got a whole game plan for you now. But at the same time, if you don't have the basics, then there's nothing really to talk about.
So what's one thing that you haven't done that you have in the works that you really want to do? Because you have done radio, you've done movies, you've done the Battle League. What's something Sho-Time hasn't done?
Wait, hold on. Talk about movies, man. Check out that viral movie, Bill Collector, Sho-Time. You know what I'm saying? It's a comedy. You know, they just played it in the Oak Center in Philly.
Okay.
You know.
So let's get to that. How did that start?
Yo, you know what? Bill Collector was casting. I hit Bill. I was like, look, Bill, yeah, what's up? And Bill was like, come pull up. You know, I pulled up to the set. I was filling it out, got some behind the scenes stuff. I jumped in a few scenes, and that's how that happened. You know, we working on Viral the Movie Part 2.
Okay.
You know?
I met Bill Collector. Bill Collector is a cool dude. And the funny thing about him, I say this all the time, he's one of the few battle rappers who can actually write songs.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
His songs is dope.
Yeah. Yep. Basically, and he's very smart. He knows what he's doing, and he's very calculating, and I like the way he do business. I like the way he treated staff, made sure everybody was good. Everything was in order. I like it. I like working with him. So on top of that, we have I got another battle rap event coming up. It should probably April, the end of April.
I was just about to ask that.
That's going to be 16-man. That's going to be a 16-man tournament. You know what I'm saying? I got some money for people. You know what I'm saying? Come get this money and this championship belt. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of people arguing in my DMs, telling me they're the best and this, that, and the third. Or, you know, because a lot of times I could just go to top tier people and just pay them and throw a show and then just make a lot of money.
So being that you said that,
because that's what you could do. Because literally I got enough foot in this game I could do that with average people. Mm-hmm. So what I'm saying is I just don't want to do that because I like this. So I want to be entertained. I want to see somebody get smoked. Okay.
So what I was about to ask you is, for people who want to do this and do it the right way, let's crash that industry. How do you break into the battle rap league and do it the right way so it doesn't seem like you're just being a hobbyist?
You look up these leagues, because you could go to Verse Tracker. Verse Tracker is a website. You might see my logo at the bottom, but it shows you every league. It's probably like 800 leagues, probably 900 now. There's specific leagues that are credible, and if you battle on a certain league, you get credit for it. So like, it shows you how many views you average and everything around the world. United States, it's a Sho-Time battle rap league. You got to battle on credible leagues and get respect on these credible leagues, gain a following, have people actually come out to support you, and then that's just how you start growing, and then you start battling other higher tier rappers who may give you the opportunity to battle them, to uplift you, or however it go, but it has to make sense. There's times where rappers tell me, oh, I want to be paid $500 to battle such and such. And I'm like saying, well, I just paid for the building, the DJ, my logo's there. I got 400 people in the building, and I need the what? I'm confused because with your grandmother and Uncle Chauncey just pulled up. Like, what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? Sometimes people got to understand, you don't just roll out the bed and say, oh, I'm going to be a battle rapper because you saw Murder Mook rap like 3 times. So now you want to do what he do? Nah, this is work. Like, to memorize all that, to retain all that information, and you know there's a lot of contracts in order, so like, there's a lot of guidelines too. It depends on the stipulations, all that.
Certain things you
can't
say.
It's not a game. That's why sometimes when people be talking, I'm like, yo, y'all have no idea. Have no idea.
So what's one piece of advice you want to give somebody coming up trying to get into film, the battle rap league, and into media?
Yo, once you say you work in the industry, and you put them footsteps in and you invest your money, you work in the industry. Period. When people told me, I remember when I first pulling up, they didn't want to let me in. I had rappers who wanted to be battle rappers. I had to build a whole league. That's the only reason why I got a league. I like battle rap, but I had a female rapper that wanted to be a battle rapper. That was her dream, right? I built a whole league just so she could battle on the league. And right now, she battled Ines. Like, to see her battle all these people that she used to watch on TV is crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Her name was Miss Ill. And that was one of my first proteges. And it's crazy because, you know, a lot of people will try to tell you or make you feel like you're not good enough, or that's because they not good enough, or because they got so many people around them, you know, because most people are just worried about one thing. Like, it's so crazy. It's like people worry about the wrong things, right? But you should always worry about somebody who's investing their money and their time and they passionate about something. Like, you know how many females look good to me? It's a lot of them. I love it. I love it. But at the same time, it's not enough. You know how many rappers I love that's just dope? But guess what? Being dope is just not enough. You know what I'm saying? You gotta match my passion, match my hustle, like make it make sense. You don't always wanna feel like you gotta carry the whole team. I just now got into a space where like I have a team, you know? It's crazy. And now I have bigger artists coming on my platform now. I just became the president of the hip hop fraternity.
Okay.
The New York chapters with Pimpin' Ken, James C.B. Gray. You know, Ice-T is the national advisor for it.
Okay.
You know, you got Charlemagne gave Snoop Dogg the hip hop fraternity jackets, so we got them hip hop fraternity jackets. You're gonna see me outside in a lot of different venues with a lot of different chapter members that are working.
I got a proposition for you. So this is something I've been wanting to do, and I think me, you,
we doing this right now.
me, you, and
Right
DW, me, you, and DWI
Oh, yeah,
can
DW.
put this together.
And look it, I'm working with DW. Well, technically, because DWI is working with I Got Bars, and you know I Got Bars is definitely my friends for years. So you know I got my hands in that too.
Okay.
Yeah, we working. But go ahead.
No, so I was gonna say we need to put it together, me, you, and DWI, where we do our own award show.
Oh, yeah. You got to see if D's okay with that. D definitely be working. He be doing a lot.
No, this is something we spoke about before, and I was like, we need a third person.
I literally saw D up here, right?
Yeah, I interviewed him.
I'm starting to think it's two of him. For real, because I
Yo,
could.
DWI be working.
What?
Yo, so can you talk about the challenges of balancing being an artist, entrepreneur, media personality all at once, and how do you manage it all?
I mean, I don't even know how I do it. You know, you gotta do what makes sense, you know, and just prioritize yourself. You know, you gotta know what you want, and you gotta be able to be strong enough to get there. You know what I'm saying? So like, if you want to be a rapper, just make sure you know the business. Make sure it's all about notability. You know, everybody always want to have 1,000 chains on. It's cute, but nobody knows you in the news. There's no press releases. There's no business. There's no marketing. You're not supporting your friends, so your friends ain't going to support you. Because it's easy for me to go tell a whole bunch of people to support me, but I not one time like none of their stuff.
You don't know how many people and this show is for the people, right? It's a lot of young kids I get that DM me like, yo, I want to be on your show. And I say, all right, send me your EPK or send me your press kit or send me your bio, right? Some people I'll just say, send me your bio because I know they got a bio. I know that they got a bio. And then you got these kids who are like, what's a press kit? What's an EPK?
Yeah, they don't
and
know.
I'm like, you're gonna have to book me so I could create one of these for you. So before you even get to my show, now you're gonna have to pay me so I could create a press kit, an EPK or a bio for you.
Real quick, that's an easy $250 out of your pocket now.
And now it helps you for more platforms.
Yeah.
And we make a network. So like when you doing your Rough Rider radio or you doing whatever you doing, yo, I got somebody who need to come on your show. All right, tell him he got to send me this and send me the EPK and whatever I charge. But they can't do that if you can't get your foot in the first door because you're not prepared. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like if you need an EPK. You need an EPK, and it's like when they started doing this Meta Verified, like this Meta Verified thing that they got going on. Yeah, because I had that blue badge since 2021. I worked hard for that. I mean, I got it on Instagram, I got it on Facebook, I got it on Triller, I got it on everything. I mean, when I tell you it's because of the notability, I just made sure if people wasn't talking about me, every time I did something, I made sure the news knew about it. And then after a while, I just say, oh, somebody randomly just wrote about me for no reason.
Which is great.
But it was really a reason, but it just triggered A lot. Me actually saying, hey, I got a product coming out, actually works.
Yep.
Because if Disney could say, hey, I got Spider-Man the movie coming out, and go buy it, and it comes out such and such date, and you can read it somewhere, that's a press release. Why wouldn't I do it?
Absolutely.
That's just backwards.
So tell everybody what's the next thing you got going out, where they could find you, where they could reach you, how they could get in touch with you, and how they could get into that Battle League thing that you got going on.
Anybody you don't see around me is not around me for a reason. I got so much coming out. I got the reality show. We got movies coming. We got like 3 different battle rap events coming. We got oh damn, I got something coming out that I can't talk about. Yo, when I tell you it's crazy, it's crazy.
So you're gonna have to come back for that.
Yeah, yo, when I tell you, yo, we about to be lit. But I got a lot coming out. We got a lot of different artists coming out. I got artists that sign new deals and stuff like that. I'm working with them. I'm still doing my little PR stuff.
And where can they reach you?
At Sho-Time TV, Sho-Time Battle Rap League. You can reach me everywhere, man. Like Sunny Dude, you could just hit her up. I'm literally outside. You can talk to me, like I'm approachable, you know? I'm not saying I'm gonna be available all the time, but like.
I would like to say that I want to give Sunny Doo and Queen Nat a shout out for making this happen. Even though we know each other, you busy, I get busy, so they went behind the scenes and they made everything happen, so shout out to them.
Yeah, I do know you. I saw the logo and the signs moving. I said, I know him.
And we out of here on that. I appreciate you, my brother.
You already know.
Welcome back to Crash the Industry. And when you talk about undeniable talent, real hustle, and a voice that commands attention, you're talking about Nay Blanco. Born and raised in the Bronx, she stepped into the game in 2018, turning her pain into passion after the loss of her close friend. Since then, she's been proving that she's not just here to rap, she's here to leave a mark with a style. Influenced by legends like Jadakiss, Fabulous, and Drake, Nay's cadence, delivery, and storytelling set her apart from the pack. She's not just a rapper, she's a force, a single mother, a hairstylist, and an artist who balances it all like it's second nature. With 2 new tracks dropping in February, a wave of visuals hitting in March, and her debut EP, They Gotta Wake Up, coming in April, Nay Blanco is making sure the world sees exactly what she's capable of. And she's not stopping there. She's just wrapped up filming for the Baddie Rap Show, bringing even more eyes to her movement. Open for bookings, features, and hosting, she's ready to work. And the industry better take notice. This isn't just a rapper. This is Nay Blanco making history. And trust me, they gotta wake up, hashtag. How you doing?
I'm good.
You good?
I'm good.
I know you had a little mission getting over here, but we're gonna make it work.
Yeah, we're not gonna talk about it. You gotta push through. That's it.
So you came in this game, you've been in this game for a few years now. So what's been the most surprising thing that you learned about the music industry since you started?
The most surprising thing, it's just so many politics to this. Like as a listener, you wouldn't even think of all the things that go on behind the scenes. So it's like, once you get a little peek of what go on behind the door, it's like, it's a lot. You know?
And then everybody fake on top of it.
What?
I ain't want to say that, but
You gotta
I've been doing
and
this.
sort and sift and sort some more, you know? It's a mission.
Yeah, sometimes you think, yo, I'm cool with this person, I'm gonna be able to work with this person, and like, I'm not cool with that person. So if you work with that person, I can't rock with you. It's a whole lot of politics.
Mm-hmm.
So from battling in the rap scene and creating songs that hit hard, you've shown a lot of versatility. What's your process for switching between battle rapping and making music?
So I'm not a battle rapper. I
just did that for fun?
I recently went to filming for this show that's for female battle rappers called Baddie Rap Show. But that was just, it was something I kind of did to push myself. Because the most difficult thing I faced, like as an artist, like I've been shy my whole life. And I'm not talking about little shy, I mean like shy. Like I probably would have never imagined myself performing in front of people or rapping or anything like that. So even as, you know, as I go along on my journey, I still feel like I need to be able to push myself, you know? So it was like, it was an experience and it helped.
How was that transition though, to go from creating songs to just putting those schemes together, battle rapping?
You gotta think fast, you know? Ever since I came back from filming, I've been in the studio every day. Like my brain is just working. It just it unlocks something for me. Like
Okay.
it just I haven't stopped since. It's
So you
crazy.
mentioned being influenced by legends like Jadakiss and Fabulous. If you had a chance to work with one of them, who would it be and why?
Nah, I can't pick. I can't pick.
You
They is both certified, my faves. Like I could never pick that. There's no way in the world. I wouldn't even try to flip a coin. I'd just be like,
both of them are
both,
like Mr.
please?
No,
Yeah, like,
Mr. No Miss a Verse.
come on.
They never miss.
They too fire. They are too fire.
So as a single mother, rapper, hairstylist, you wear a lot of hats. What is your secret to balancing it all without burning out?
God. God. Literally God. When I tell you, I talk to him all day. Literally. When it get rough, I just be like, please, I know you hear me. I'm calling you one more time, but really, he really gets me through everything because sometimes I be trying to sit there and I'm a fake perfectionist, so, and I'm an Aries, so I think I'm right all the time. I be trying to figure everything out, and then sometimes you just get a curveball, and it's like, what you gonna do now? And I look up, and he make it happen every time.
You ever found yourself in a situation where you had to take your baby with you to the studio? All the time.
I done had to take my babies everywhere. Everywhere. There's no foreign place that they haven't been with me, like, everywhere. It's definitely happened.
Okay, that's dope. All right. She said there's a piece of tape. Oh, Baki, the tape you put on her is showing.
Oh, it's showing?
Yeah. They said they apologized. They stopped. I was about to ask a question too. Baki did that on purpose.
I told him, don't be scared. Don't be nervous.
Baki said, I'm coming back for round 2. All right, so let me get back to the question I was about to ask. So you've got 2 tracks dropping in February in your EP. First, hashtag They Gotta Wake Up, coming in April. Can you tell us or tell the fans what to expect from these upcoming projects?
So the first one I'm dropping in February actually drops today. It's called
Okay.
She the One. It's February, you know, Valentine's, so I'm just trying to soften the vibes a little bit. I'm known for being very aggressive. I'm from the Bronx.
I was just gonna say that, but I ain't have to say that.
So, you know, it's in my nature. So every now and then I be trying to show them the feminine side, you know, that I could be, you know, real womanly and all of that. So that's the vibe I'm going for in February. And They Gotta Wake Up is self-explanatory because they do. They
Okay.
do.
They
A lot
can't
of
keep
people
sleeping on you.
sleep. No. No more snoozing, you know?
I hear you.
They gotta wake up.
Okay,
It's necessary.
okay. So you just wrapped up filming Baddie Rap Show. How was that experience and what can viewers expect from that show? Wait, let me ask you a question before you start. Is that
Yeah.
the show that they had a clip of and the girls was all in line and they just started fighting for no reason?
No.
Okay.
Nah. This one is more. This one is like built around battle rap. So we had Rex, we had Moot, we had New Jersey Twerk, we had Smoke Dizza, Cassidy. It was a lot of names there, and like I said, it was a really special experience for me. Me being the only one on there that wasn't a battle rapper, and when I tell you the love that my name got in them rooms, it was unbelievable. Like, I don't know these people and they know my name. So that was just, it was a powerful moment for me. I almost shed a tear, I'm not even gonna lie. But it was really like, it was really impactful for me. When y'all, it's definitely gonna be something that's good for the culture.
What was your toughest opponent there?
I can't really say that, but it was me against me. It was me versus me the whole time. Like, I was just pushing myself, taking myself to another level or whatever. But everybody else there was cool, but yeah, I was my only competition.
Nate was shut shit down.
That's it.
Okay.
Hello.
So you've been making a name for yourself, obviously, like you just said, for a while. But if you weren't doing music right now, what would you be doing?
I mean, I already do hair. I've been doing hair since I was like 15. So I can't really say. I really never check for the music. I'm not one of those people that could be like, oh, I was rapping when I was younger, or we was freestyling, I was one of them people. If you send me your music, I'm like, bro, please take that. I don't do that. I don't want to listen to that. So this really, it came to me. And I didn't even felt like it was too much. I don't want to deal with this no more. And it called me back. So it's like, this the inevitable. This just is God's plan.
Okay, so what do you see in your future as an artist?
In my future, ultimately, I would love to write for people. I would love to write for other artists because I could write anything. But there's just certain things I'm not gonna be seen saying because it's just not in my character. Like, yeah, it's not for me, but I could definitely write it for the next person to make it sound real good. Okay. So, I would love to be it.
That's dope.
Up there.
So what do you want your legacy to be in the music industry, and what do you want your fans to remember most about you and your impact?
I just want everybody to know me for just overcoming obstacles. I've been the underdog my whole life. You know what I mean? So I just want to be the example for the next person to keep going. Just keep going, keep pushing. Like, I'm telling you, on the way here, I had a whole meltdown. My face probably a little ashy from it gets like that. And again, I looked up and I talked to God and I was just like, I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep it pushing. That's really important because you can't control the obstacles and stuff that life throws at you, but you could definitely control how you handle it, and
absolutely.
The tough
I didn't think you was
times
gonna
don't
show up,
last.
but you still showed
what?
up.
Got
So
you.
tell everybody where they can find Nate Blanco and what you got coming up.
Google me.
Like,
Google me. But you can find me everywhere. The real Nate Blanco. That's what I go by. TheRealNayblanco. That's everywhere. Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. I'm a real chill person. I'm cool. I'm a vibe, and I like to encourage people. I'm real motherly.
Okay.
So
Well, I appreciate you for showing up, and we're about to get out of here. Before we do, though, I want to give a shout out to my brother James for pulling up with the Don't Impress, Inspire hats, and we're gonna get his Instagram and everything in the lower third, so you could go get you one of these, and me and my wife gonna pick one, and then we're gonna give some to everybody else after we take what we want. All right, back to y'all. That's another episode of Crash the Industry, and we're gonna get into Nate's performance. Thank you. Appreciate you for showing up.
yes.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Nate Blanco. I'm gonna hit y'all with that track, New York Vibe. Tune in. Big Blanco here. Listen, said it's that New York vibe. We on New York time. Big city, big dreams in my New York mind. Big steppers, and we talking about the New York kind. Getting money, paper longer than the New York Times. And them New York lines, I be skipping to the front. Give the gab on with it, I be getting what I want. They competing, I'm just eating cause I already won. Flow serious, ironically, I do this shit for fun. Cause I'm New York raised, I give New York praise. Real city girl, I got New York ways. They be knowing it ain't nothing like them New York plays. And the lingo ain't fire until New York say it. Cause my city really litty. And anywhere I go, I gotta take my city with me. It's on me and it's in me. I'm a Bronx bred thorough bitch. Rep from my barrel bitch. The exes in the building like they couldn't find a better bitch. They know Blanco snaps, we ain't talking benefits. Rapping that we trapping, all that other shit irrelevant. If it ain't about the paper, then I'm celibate. Never gave a fuck. If I did, bet you remember it. New York vibe, we on New York time. Big city, big dreams in my New York mind. Big steppers, and we talking about the New York kind. Getting money, paper longer than the New York Times. So New York with it. It's a state of mind, so I'm New York with it. And my New York fitted in a foreign all black 4-door, all tinted. Got my favorite nigga driving, we gon' cruise off in it. Real nigga from his head to his shoes, authentic. So fire, think it's cause he got that New York in him. Cut from a different cloth, that's that New York denim. For nigga try to start, you know he gone in them. My city different, we'll show you about some city slicking. Got hoes from out of town coming to the city tricking. This is city business, we getting to the chicken. Big Blanco about to have the whole city clicking. Yeah, this that New York shit. Gotta keep it gangsta, know how New York get. Better listen close, this how New York spit. We don't never need a tag, we know New York it. Yeah. Big Blanco here. I said he knew I was different, he could tell by how I talk. Gotta step your shit up when you talking to a boss. Body natural and I'm blessed like I stepped up off the cross. Can't impress me with no money, shit I want don't even cost. I just wanna be your peace, keep you out the streets. Make sure that you feeling good, make sure that you eat. I'm your lady, but you know I be a freak up in them sheets. What's understood ain't gotta be explained, ain't even gotta speak. Make me weak up in the knees, SWV. Hate relationships, but yet that's what you wanted with me. Do me right, lay the pipe, still springing the leak. Throwing some music, beat it up to the beat. And them funny niggas that you be with, they ain't really your mans. They be praying that I give them a chance. They can't even shoot they shot with me cause they stuck in the stands. Treat them accordingly, them niggas be fans. We locked in, who gon' love you like I love you, or treat you like I do. You know I'm the realest, if I speak it then that's true. They tryna be up in our business, they ain't even got a clue. That's why every time I post, know they gon' be up in them views. Power couple, we ain't coming to play. If they hatin', tell them stay out the way. I know we all got options, but you the only one I would choose. I'm the one, you the one, we the two. Appreciate y'all for vibing with me. That's called She the One. That's out in all platforms today. Check that out. Yeah.
That was dope. Everybody come on real quick.
Appreciate you.
That was dope. That's that vibe. That's the vibe we needed. Big Bronx energy, yeah. Brooklyn in the building. And that, yeah, Brooklyn in the building. But Big Bronx energy with Brooklyn in the building. So that was another episode of Crash the Industry. See y'all.